this does here. Everybody, how's everyone doing out there? So, I haven't put up a video recently because I've been working on one, and I'm going to probably finish editing it this week and get it posted. I guess start out by saying a year ago, last April, not quite a year ago, so 10 months ago, almost 11 months ago now, it's March, wow. I really wasn't feeling all that well, and had a bunch of projects, and my attitude was, won't get to it today, I'll get to it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow came and felt the same way, just like, yeah, man, I'll get to it tomorrow. But anyhow, this thing is shaky. Started feeling kind of nauseated, you want to say, and just kind of people started noticing that I was really getting pale in color. And finally, my wife talked me into going to the doctor. So I went to our local walk-in urgent care, and they started doing a bunch of tests on me and determined that there was something going on with my heart, and they did not have the equipment there to really dive into it, so they sent me to the actual hospital emergency room, where they did basically what's called an ultrasound, and looked at my heart and realized that it wasn't pumping very strongly. So they admitted me into the hospital, got me on some oral meds, I guess, really there, and hooked me up to a bunch of machines and just was monitoring what was going on. Got the cardio doctor team in there to talk with me and kind of see what's going on. And I was there for 3 days, put me on some heavy meds, and diagnosed me with congestive heart failure. My heart was only pumping at a 10% rate. Set up to go over to the big hospital over in Seattle, the University of Washington Medical Center. Went over there, did a bunch of tests. Keep in mind, I work weekends, so I was still trying to work while this going on, and I just could not. I mean, I worked, but walking 20 feet was a struggle. Luckily, my job is not a strenuous job, so I was able to work through this, but I just couldn't move around very much, very quickly. So I went over to the University of Washington Medical Center, and got more extensive tests done, and they realized that, or determined that, I was a prime candidate for needing a heart transplant. Funny thing is that all my arteries are great, everything else is perfect, no other issues. It's just my heart was not pumping very strong. They couldn't really determine what caused it. Sometimes they say a virus causes it, but I haven't gone anywhere that I could have picked up some, like a foreign country where picked up something that my body isn't used to that attacks your heart. They thought, some is genetics, but as far as a history, it's kind of, and I'll do more videos on that, but don't really have a good history of my actual genetic makeup, if you want to call it, as I'm an adopted child. So anyway, spent a week in the hospital there with tubes and all other kinds of things hooked in me, meeting with everybody that has anything to do with a heart transplant, team-wise, and getting me worked up for being qualified for a heart transplant. Now, my blood type is pretty common, which is one of those things like, hey, that's a great thing, but yet being common, that means there's, a lot of people out there that are waiting on a heart too, and it's a first come kind of, basis. It's not like this person needs it, because we're all equal in that department. So, waiting for the right heart could take anywhere from a few months to many, many years. So anyway, working with the cardio heart specialist there at the U, our goal was the number. He wanted to see my heart rate, heart pumping rate, refraction rate as they call it, at a 35%. If that was there, then I would probably be safe to say living somewhat of a normal life until a heart came available. What we did is we put me on a very low sodium diet, a lot of oral pills, because when your heart's not pumping well, you're still producing that blood, but then it turns in more into a fluid situation, and you're just storing that fluid. So you have to get that fluid off of yourself. So one way is diuretics, water pills type system. Taking a good dose of water pills, but then because you're flushing your system out, you're flushing out potassium and other things, so then you have to take pills for that. So anyway, and then you got your blood thinner pills, because now you want to get your blood as thin as possible so the heart can push it easier, and then there's pills that you have to take to counteract that. So anyway, so I'm on all these pills, and we're messing around with the concoction. A couple of them it was determined that I was allergic to, because I just was coughing all the time, just could not stop coughing. So you got other options, so we played with that. Some of it was cost, what my insurance would pay for, and things like that. But we found a good balance, and they released me from the hospital, and doing the diet, the pills, monitoring my blood pressure, monitoring my heartbeat rate, and all those things on a daily, weight, everything. A little bit of exercise. They don't want you to do too much, because if your heart's in failure mode, if you do strenuous workouts, you could really damage it. It could just shut down on you. So they just wanted a light exercise routine. You got to do it something, because it's a muscle and you want to kind of work it a little bit. But anyhow, did that. Was supposed to go back in 3 months, and I have to tell you, I was really starting to feel pretty good. I wanted to say they wanted to get up to 33% or 35%. I left the hospital and I was at 24%, from 10% up to 24%, and they wanted to get it at 35%. I didn't need like a mechanical heart or anything like that, because I wasn't in what's called AFib, where I had an erratic heartbeat. Everything's normal, it's just low. I didn't have spikes or anything like that, so I didn't need anything that would help it when it wanted to shut down at this time. So anyway, was supposed to go back in 3 months, and we had a vacation planned, and I had to reschedule that appointment. So went the following month. It was like 4 months since I was admitted in the hospital that I went back for a follow-up, and we were going to do some extensive what would you call it, exercise monitoring too, where they put me on a bicycle and then basically increased the tension, where they wanted me to maintain a certain speed, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And they had me hooked up to different machines, and they are monitoring everything to see how my heart would react to being under a little bit of stress. And you know, honestly, I felt like I did a pretty damn good job at it. They do too. My legs gave out before I felt like I had to stop. And they really were encouraged by how my heart was reacting under that kind of stress. It did just fine. And we went ahead and did some more, the ultrasound again, did some EKG type stuff, and found that my heart was up to almost 55% refraction rate. And keep in mind, we wanted a goal of 35. So everybody was like, oh my, wow, what's going on here? Because that's so good. From where I was at 10 to be at 55 now. So that was like very encouraging. The doctor, you know, hey, you know, I said, I see good numbers, but let's keep in mind that this could be a roller coaster. You could be just having a great time right now. We don't want to rush anything. We'll see what it is. He says, we'll set up another appointment and we'll see you back in a few months. So this video I'm going to put together here is my trip back in February for another follow-up appointment with them. And I will say, physically, I'm feeling great. Like nothing ever happened, which is kind of a very surprising, I guess is the easiest way to say it. But I'll put this video together, and I wish I had started this channel back before I did all this, because excuse me, it's been a very interesting journey and learning experience, and that's kind of why I've started this channel, is because it really opened my eyes to saying, hey, you got to go out there and live, because you just never know what's going to happen. You know, tomorrow is not a given, so enjoy today. So anyhow, that's what's been going on. Still working on trying to put that video together. I'll get it together, and the weather's starting to turn here. It's starting to look beautiful, so I'm hoping to get more videos going on this channel, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you soon.